Welcome to another edition here of the Los Alamitos Weekend Preview. I'm your host, Jose Contreras, joined by your Los Alamitos track analyst there on track each and every night, Christopher Wade. Christopher, welcome back to the preview show here. It was a fun weekend of racing last week with the Ed Burke Million Futurity. And once again, political was a political rivalry. I have too many politicals in my head. Political rivalry was the winner. And he was the horse that ended up qualifying to the kindergarten but scratched out of the final. Well, how about a great plan B? You get into the Ed Burke Million and you win it all.
Yeah, well, the connections, I had like 4 or 5 of the horses in the kindergarten, and it was the only horse eligible, Ed Burke. So they scratched the horse. So I was on his post number 1 that particular in the final to go in kindergarten. In the Ed Burke Million Futurity. It was the second fastest qualifier and broke well and won nicely there in the big dance.
I got to say, I was worried about the post and many races leading up to this. You already been campaigning quite a while. But when the 9 scratched, that was ultra beneficial, I thought. And lo and behold, you had the outside post. You broke well, you broke best, and you kicked away. So maybe it wouldn't have mattered. But I did think having the 9 out of that race and scratch definitely helped him having a better path to run. Yeah,
the clear path, because the 9 horse had a tendency to ski inward. Yeah. And left the clear path when you broke on the lead by a length and held off the fast closing horse, the 6 horse that particular, even it was like 18-1. Yeah. And run a very good race, but political rivalry right in the front, right in the winner's circle there on Ed Burke.
And we usually don't give a lot of props to the also-rans, but I got to give credit to that runner-up finish by, is it Rockin' with Energy? I think Rockin' with Energy was the name of the runner-up for Paul Jones. Irvin Lauer was in the mountain. That 6 horse ran giant. To be that clear second and making up ground on that fast starting political rivalry, that was a giant effort, I thought, to be second best.
Yeah, it really was. The horse went off at 18-1. Was one of my selections in the first race. Was the first trial for the Ed Burke from post number 1. And this horse didn't get away very, very well. Broke a little slow and was brushed away from the gate. Lost a length or so, length and a quarter, but put forth a huge one past the gap and finishing very strongly to make it close at the wire. But political rivalry got the front and kept on going there and got the victory over the troubled Rockin' with Energy.
Let's talk about Saturday night's 8-race program. 8 races on top. Vandy Splash will be race number 8, but let's go to race number 7, Chris, because that is the horse that you like in that race number 7, and you're getting a nice morning line, 5-1 on Wise Lady Dawn, excuse me.
Yeah, this is a horse that seems to find trouble. Trouble finds this horse, but the ability is there. This horse come off a layoff there recently of like a 73 nights and had a A-minus 12 flat gate drill. And the horse had some trouble, broke a little slow, was kind of head cocked sideways and skied and crossed, lost about a length and 3/4, possibly almost 2, but put forth a big run past the gap and was finishing very, very slow and get within a half a length there at the wire with a clear path expected from the rail. The horse breaks a little bit better from that inside post. Has a big look there in that 7th event, kicking off the late day double.
This is La Pacifica, gate 6. Let's watch this replay, Chris, number 6.
And you can see she get a little fractious a bit in the gate, and she's not going to get away very well at all. She leaned back and bobbled and was head cocked sideways and skied inward and was crossed by quicker rival. See where the horse is at? He's crossed by the 7 horse. Now watch this horse finish the final half of the affair. We're starting out very, very strongly and got within half a length of the whole thing and got there. Was only beating a half a length of the whole thing and galloped out very, very strongly. If this one got away better, could have been a big factor in that affair.
And talk about a blanket finish. That was about 6 horses separating by a long neck. It was a blanket finish, and the horse that ended up winning that race was the long shot, One Sweet Duck, who went off at 25-1. But you can see how well Wise Lady Dawn was closing into that group.
Yeah, this horse very well could have been right there. Could have possibly won that event with a clean getaway, but broke slow, was crossed, angled out, and was finishing well, despite being in kind of close quarters near the wire as well. So a horrible journey from start to finish, but big heart, and was finishing nicely. And hopefully a clear path expected from the rail, possibly could be a big factor there in that 7th event.
5 of those 6 runners in this race have raced in the La Pacifica. Now, Jessica Cruz, the 5, has since raced and actually won an allowance, but she was also part of the La Pacifica group where she ended up finishing 9th. So 5 of the 6 runners exit that same common event. The only other runner that is not coming out of that race is just Dynasty beat the 3 horse. But these are a little bit of a rematch for a lot of these fillies, Chris.
Yeah, and it's a very closely matched affair. But if this horse can get away clean, has a big look at the outcome there in that 7th event. And I'm glad it's 350 yards because she's not the quickest of foot away from the gate, but the ability is there. It's just a matter of getting that clear start and clear path from that inside post.
You get a nice 5-1 on Wise Lady Dawn there from the rail. Why I have you for a moment. Race number 8 is a featured event, the Vandys Flash Handicap, purse of $25,000. This is a very good group here. Group of 10, full gate. Of course, we got that Party Politics, the dual Grade 1 futurity winner of last season. He finally bounced back with a good win last time out, Chris. 1994 was a clock in the Dillingham. Is that enough to project him into another one tonight?
Yeah, with everything factored in, the horse has got slightly my best numbers in this affair. But this horse has got a ton of talent. Sometimes gets out of the gate, gets rambunctious in the gate. If this horse goes in the gate, minds the manners, is probably the one to hold off there. But don't forget, he's Chiclet's very, very quick. Always says, catch me if you all can, and has a look at the outcome because that's got some numbers that are pretty close there. But that affair, Party Politics, probably the one to beat there in the finale.
Takes first flash, missed the break, kind of lifting up in that Derby Challenge back last time out as a betting favorite. He's back, and he's in gate number 9. A good field of 10 to close out the card on Saturday night. 8 races there, and it will be the Vandy Splash for a purse of $25,000. All right, Chris, best of luck there with Wise Lady Dawn. As far as the simulcast analysis, what are you tackling there for the viewing public?
Well, this week, all we got going this week is races 3 through 9 at Delta Downs. Okay. Help you along. Go to the Los Al website. My selections are there for all the simulcasts and my price plays in the Los Alamitos. And they're also on, of course, the program.
Yep.
Back to the program. We try to help you along with our selections there. Races 3 through 9 at Delta Downs. Got some good ones there this weekend. Some troubled horses that hopefully a clean getaway puts the horse in the mix. So I got some nice ones. So pay attention to our selections at Delta Downs.
Yeah, check out losalamitos.com and also pick up your copy of the Nightlines there on track or at various satellite wagering facilities. All right, Chris, gotta have a good rest of your Thursday afternoon. I'll see you this weekend at Los Al.
All right, Bush, have a good night.
You too.
Los Alamitos celebrates its 10th year of daytime thoroughbred racing this summer with an action-packed meet in beautiful Orange County. It's been an honor for us to have racing's biggest stars competing here over the past years. From the great 2-time Horse of the Year, California Chrome, to 7 other outstanding Eclipse Award winners, plus many other great stars. Our summer meet will include the Great Lady M Stakes on a special 4th of July program, plus the Los Alamitos Derby and our on-track handicapping contest on Saturday, July 8th. It's our 10th year of daytime thoroughbred racing at Los Alamitos Racecourse. Racing fans, the traditional $2 pick six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a pick six carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the pick six pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a pick six carryover or the $10,000 pick six promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 pick six, a great bet, a great deal, big time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos. Wiener Dog racing fans, the Wiener Schnitzel Wiener Nationals are back at Los Alamitos Racecourse Saturday night, July 15th. It'll be a showcase of the fastest dachshunds in the world. They love to run, and they love to make new friends and have fun. Who will be the fastest winner in the West? We can't wait to find out. Join us for this great night of family fun. Admission for kids 17 and under is free. The Wiener Schnitzel Wiener Nationals at Los Alamitos Racecourse, Saturday night, July 15th.
And we are back. And Michael, are you ready? Not only are you double duties with the thoroughbreds and the nighttime quarter, you got the Dachshunds, the Wiener Dogs are coming up in July.
Yes. There's a lot happening, isn't there, on the calendar in the coming month or so?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Just as we're getting to end June with the start of our daytime thoroughbred season there, the LA County Fair season at Los Alamitos. We'll hit July, and before we know it, right in the middle of July, we'll have the Wiener Nationals. And you got to experience them last year.
Last year for the first time, and it was later in the year. It was in the fall. So it's sort of a quick turnaround in a sense, and kind of getting back into the regular routine of the scheduling of the Wiener Nationals around the middle of the year. So, yes, mate, that'll be a lot of fun, but I've got plenty to focus on before I even start to do the past performances on the
That's right. It'll be quite a quick turnaround, as you mentioned, given the scheduling last year. All right, I want to get your thoughts on last weekend's races, but we'll leave that towards the end of the show. First, let's get down to business for Saturday night's race, 8 race card. I know you're going towards the early part of the card, and you're going to race number 2 here. You like the look of the number 4 horse, King Look.
Yeah, this is a 300-yard maiden for 3-year-old quarter horses and up, 3 and up. And King Luke made my watch list of his last start on May 21st when he had various problems. And I think that with Armando Viramontes back on board on Saturday night, the jockey who broke his maiden 2 runs back, that he can step up second time against winners and be pretty tough to beat at reasonable odds, 4-1 on Ed Burgart's morning line.
Take a look at that replay. Quite a few runners come out of the same common. Let's recap. Mighty Alexa was the 6 horse. And then you have Fusito, who was the 2 horse. King Look was the 4 horse. And then Bernie Cartel was the 3 horse. So we're going to focus on King Luke in gate number 4. Quite a handful of these runners are coming out of the same race back on May 21st. Here it is, King Luke in gate number 4.
He stumbles just after the break, was bumped by the number 5 horse, and then mid-race, he got multiple bumps from both sides. In fact, his hind quarters were knocked at one point past the 8th pole. So he ended up 4th, but not a bad effort under the circumstances. And some of the interference will show up even better if we can take a look at the head-on replay. I thought that of the 4 horses coming out of the same race into this event on Saturday night, who are all similar odds on the morning line, that there was most merit in King Luke's performance.
And, that King Luke effort, he was right around 7-1. He was coming out of a maiden win, but you can see there was a significant amount of trouble here. And I'm piping up here the head-on replay. And actually, we got it right here. Here's the head-on. And he was the number 4 horse here because he bobbles and then gets bumped.
Yes, and then there's bumping coming from either side just here. The 5 and the 3 get him, and his hind quarters get tipped slightly. It got pretty crowded and nasty for King Luke past the 8th pole. So I think we can safely put a line through that. The maiden win 2 starts back was in moderate time. It was nothing too flash, but at the same time, I think that he's good enough to take a big hand in the finish here. The horse I'm most worried about is Valterracita, the morning line favourite out there in gate 6, who looks very well spotted coming in at this level from the outside post off a 110-yard sharpener. But of course, he's 1 for 21, Jose. Now, admittedly, not many of those 21 races have been in the claiming ranks. And if you just take his last handful of races, Valterracita does absolutely measure up and look tough in this spot. As coincidence would have it, the maiden win back in January for Valterracita came in the same race that King Luke finished 3rd. So they've actually met previously several months ago. King Luke didn't have much luck on that occasion either. He was a troubled 3rd when things pretty much went very nicely throughout for Valterracita. So yes, the favourite's well drawn and certainly tough, but at much better odds. I think 4-1 King Luke in this group is a definite play, a worthwhile investment.
And you get back to rider that was aboard for that maiden win in Armando Viramontes, which could prove to be beneficial. So that's King Luke, 4-1 for Mike Corona in race number 2. What about the featured event? Any thoughts on this full field of 10 there and the Vandy splash to end the card?
Oh, it's a very good race, isn't it?
It is.
It was good to see Party Politics find the winner's circle last time out after so many troubled starts and great recoveries, but didn't quite get up in time. And I'm a long-time fan of the horse. I wonder whether Chick's First Flash is perhaps a better investment at the odds because he's not often sent off anywhere around 7-2. But, it's just become so problematic for this horse at the start. They tried the flipping holder last time, and it was an even worse experience than without the flipping holder. So they're promptly removing it and trying again. And he does have a nice wide draw. And if he can get out of the gate, 7-2 is quite decent odds. It's just that query because it's becoming a real nasty habit, isn't it, for Chick's First Flash?
It's hard to predict what kind of effort you're going to get from him because he has been, kind of his own worst enemy in some of these starts at the gate. So it's hard to predict, but you're not going to get many 72 morning lines on a horse like that in this spot. So you're right about that.
Yeah, I gave a lot of thought to making him my pick for this preview show just because of the 7-2. I thought with the wide draw, it was very tempting, but I just couldn't pull the trigger because the bad starts have become too habitual. The flipping holder didn't work. And so I just need to see him put it all together and show me he's got his mind on being a professional racehorse again.
Well, Michael, I've had some good luck with some long shots in some of these big fields and stakes events in the last few months. I've got a long shot here for the viewers in this spot. I'm going to go to gate number 5, Space Flight.
Oh yes, he's he's an old friend of yours.
I can't let him win at big odds without me. That recipe has worked. Duck Dash and Go comes to mind, but Space Flight, I cannot let him go off at these big of odds. I think he's still ready to elevate to a little level as a 3-year-old who's only had 2 starts, and both of them have had a little bit of excuse. I just loved his gallop out last time out. He galloped out in front past Disruptor after not breaking all that well. The extra 50 yards should suit him well. He's 12-1 on Ed Burke's morning line. I think Space Flight for me will be the price I'm going to focus on in the Vandy Splash come Saturday night.
Don't let him get out of that starting gate without you being on board, mate.
No.
And I've always have to throw a mention in of Mahomes' magic. I've just mentioned a few times on this preview show how he outruns his odds so often, and he's just an underrated, very good racehorse.
Yeah, I mean, he shows up even when his odds are kind of overlooked. He's been very consistent. Leon has been, his regular rider now for a while. He keeps them out, and he keeps on running his odds. He almost caught Party Politics last time out.
And I wonder if DKAA can do better second time off the layoff. I presumed he would win off that very fast gate work coming into his last start. He didn't begin all that well. It was a pretty flat performance, though. I thought he was very disappointing, but certainly he has the ability to step it up big time second start off the respite. So interested in his performance. There's a lot of angles, a lot of ways you can consider playing this race, particularly from the exotic standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. So it's going to be a fun race to end the card on Saturday night. That'll be the Vandy Splash Handicap, purse of $25,000 for the 3-year-olds, going a distance of 350 yards. By this time in the evening, you will be done with another doubleheader. Actually, your first doubleheader of this season here with the Vandy Splash. So to wrap up the show, I kind of want to reminisce about what happened last week. Of course, we had the 2 Thoroughbred Stakes events for the Fillies and Mare division, and then for the Open Colts and Geldings division, and also the Grade 1 Ed Burke Million Futurity, all in the same card. First, your thoughts about some of those Thoroughbred races. How do you think they shaped out?
Well, the filly and mare winner just absolutely loves the nighttime layout at Los Alamitos, 3 for 3 this season, and won a couple as well last year. And so that made perfect sense. And the other winner, Tis Lightning, was just labelled urgent out of the gate, just burst across the face of the field from the far outside draw, number 10, and led all the way. For the style of enjoy, this edition perhaps didn't have as much early speed as a lot of the other fields we've seen. So Tis Lightning just seized the initiative and never looked back.
Yeah, and Trouble in Paradise was the filly we're talking about there in the featured filly and mare, owned by Ron Glatt, trained by Sergio Morfin. She's been perfect since coming off the layoff and loving it at 1,000 yards. So she got the job done there very, very impressively for Edgar Payeras. And then Tis Lightning, he was making a quick turnaround, maybe about 8 or 9 days, maybe about a week turnaround. But when he was able to outduel Darn Quick, he was in gate 9 and kind of immediately carved the lead. I think that was the winning move by Diego Herrera. So I think Diego Herrera rode that race perfectly. He took care of the main speed threat in Darn Quick and then held off the late challenger of the closer. So I thought it was a very, very smart ride by Diego on Tiz Lightning.
And hasn't he struck some form? He had a fabulous weekend last weekend in Arcadia as well as in Cyprus. And so it'd be interesting to monitor his success over the next few weeks of the daytime racing as well as at night.
Yeah, I mentioned that he could put him. They could put him on mules and Arabians right now. He'll probably get you some winners as well. He's riding all breeds very, very well. So congrats to all the connections: Ron Glad, Sergio Morfin, Edgar Payeras with Trouble in Paradise, and then on the other hand, it was Battleborn Racing Stables. Nick Hines, a partner of ours, for me there in the broadcast on the Founder TV, said he's the owner of Tiz Lightning, Diego Herrera, and Jesus Uranga.
Yeah, Nick was in the winner's circle.
Yes,
I could hear him from up in the broadcast booth, as a matter of fact, and he also had the third horse winding, so it was a good night out for him.
Yeah, he had a good group of family and friends out in the terrace at Vessels Club enjoying the night at the races. So I'm glad the end of the night with a winner. We move on to the Grade 1 Ed Burke Million Futurity. I was kind of on the fence about the big favorite. I know we brought you on for a segment and you were all about it, and he got the job done. So tip to the cap to you. I was worried about the 9 kind of moving inwards and bumping him. But once the 9 scratch, which was a late scratch at the gate, Michael, that really left the 8 horse Political Rivalry with a very good clean path to run on the outside.
Yes, you're quite right. I was very keen on Political Rivalry from the moment the trials had been put in the books. But it even became an easier task once Talk About Something on the outside was a late scratch, because it gave the clear path, and the horse did break out a little bit actually, but was quickly straightened and was just all over the top of them and too good. Goes 4 for 4, rocking with energy, ran tremendously to go under by a neck or so. Yeah. Wonderful effort for trainer Paul Jones, and who also had the third horse along the rail, Kevin's Wise Corona. So second and third for Jones, very good efforts, but Political Rivalry has just been superior in most aspects so far this juvenile season at Los Al.
And I'm showing here the article by our director of marketing and publicity, Orlando Gutierrez, on Political Rivalry's recap there. And Political Rivalry matches Desire KV and Corona in winning the Ed Burke Million Futurity at Los Alamitos. You can catch all the recaps there in print at losalamitos.com and enjoy some of the quotes and comments from the winning connections. So go to losalamitos.com for your latest on everything that's happening at Los Alamitos. And I wanted to wrap up the show, as Professor G is not going to join us this week, but he's given us some good videos and some notes to share with you. But also I wanted to bring up this article and highlight that his sire, KVN Corona, produced and won this race, because after the races, yours truly and the guy sitting across the screen from me, Mike Corona, we bended an elbow down at Burgart's, coming to reminiscing and wrapping up the weekend. And of course, your racetrack mind and race collar is always in the works. And then, as we're sipping and enjoying our adult beverage, you're like, it's Father's Day, KVN Corona, the sire.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I missed that one. So why don't you share the viewers how that thought process came along?
Well, there was a lot of talk leading into the race about how KVN Corona, this hot juvenile sire, had 3 horses in the final and had won the Ed Burke 6 years earlier. And at least I remember to acknowledge it at the end of the race call, but in a very wordy fashion. I was talking about how Keith Nellison had the sire victorious 6 years ago, and now he's got the undefeated son winning the Ed Burke. I don't remember exactly how I worded it, but it was pretty wordy in the gallop out, And so then when we were having a couple of beers at Burgart's, I think you had made some reference to Father's Day.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that I never put it together in my head that all I needed to do, instead of waffling on for 20 seconds after the race, was say at the finish line, Happy Father's Day, KVN Corona. But, that's my perfectionist race caller's mindset. Yes. And so I was kicking myself finish to the call. But, oh well, cutting room floor. There's so much material on the cutting room floor.
We had a good laugh about it after the races and after winding down. It was fun to wrap up and wrap up the weekend of racing and kind of talk and reminisce about everything that happened. And by the way, shout out to Keith Nelson. He wasn't in attendance there as he's been pretty much through the trials and some of the other ones. He wasn't in attendance because it was Father's Day, and he was being a good father with his daughter Presley, who was competing in a barrel racing, I believe, competition at the Georgia National Fairgrounds. So he was in attendance, but I'm sure he was enjoying and watching. So Keith, if you're watching, congrats to you and your team. And I'm glad you got to spend some time with your daughter and your family. You'll have plenty of more wins coming. The way your breeding operation is going, you have plenty more to appreciate and enjoy. So congrats to the entire team with political rivalry getting the win in the Ed Burke.
Yeah, you're talking about a grade 1 race of extreme prestige, but Mr. Nelson clearly has his priorities in life spot on.
Yes.
Classy prioritizing there by Keith for sure.
Yes, and as we wrap up the show, I kind of jokingly enough last week on the program mentioned that you were on a special assignment. You were in a remote island. You couldn't connect.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you back. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Well, even when I'm not on the show, I still enjoy watching it. And right at the end of last week's show, I caught you having a little bit of fun at my expense about how you'd been able to file a report, do your preview shows from when you were on a boat in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted to quickly point out that report that you gave us looked like it was coming from the deck of some luxury yacht in Mexico. Mm-hmm. Mate, I was stuck in commuter ferry from Catalina Island last Thursday afternoon, not enjoying the same quality transit as La Familia Contreras. Yes. So just want to put that on the record that I didn't even have outside deck access, and it was a misty, cloudy day anyhow. So, but I will say that the on-land experience, spent the night at Catalina for her birthday last week, and we had very nice accommodations and a great experience there. But the timing of the return ferry ride was just not going to work out with the recording. And I assure you that I was feeling like a sardine inside this commuter ferry. Nothing of the style or beauty of what you were showing us when you reported from a boat deck last year.
Yeah, I think I was on deck 16 on a mega cruiser out, and so I had plenty. I was more closer to a signal, so I'll give you that. But happy late birthday to your missus, lovely Kathy, and hopefully you guys enjoyed your trip down to Catalina Island.
Yeah, very much so.
I'm going to be on a special assignment. I won't be on the desk on FanDuel TV this weekend. I went to the bullpen. I called Mr. Ed Burke. He said, sure, I'll be there. So Ed Burke will be on site. Michael, I know you guys have a good time hanging out there. He'll be filling in for me on Saturday and Sunday, both on this. I will be on a special assignment. I will be sipping margaritas. I will be enjoying a quinceañera family party. And I'll be back next weekend with my report, Michael.
Oh, well, wish you the very best with that. I'm sure it'll be a special, memorable occasion. And, of course, we always enjoy having Ed back in any capacity at Los Alamitos. Apart from sitting in for you on the FanDuel set Saturday night and Sunday night, he's going to be Kurt Hoover's special guest before the preview show that you can watch through the Los Al website and the simulcast signal. And they're going to do it from Burgart's.
Yes.
Yeah, which is perfect. Yeah.
It had to be done from Burgart's. Yeah. So he'll be on the set night, replacing me Saturday and Sunday night on the FanDuel TV desk. Then on Saturday day before the races, he'll be Kurt Hoover's handicapping guest. You can watch it at losalamitos.com via the live video feed and also through your simulcast signals. If you're watching the races from another simulcast facility, you'll be able to catch Ed Burgart there on track.
Yes. Now, the timing of that would be, I think, our first post is 1:00.
Yes.
And I think Kurt does his preview show maybe from about 12:10 to 12:30, something like that. People should be definitely tuning in for that. And Mate, I might even wander down to Burgart's with my Burgart cap.
Yes.
And have the great man autograph it. Why not?
Get your silver Sharpies ready. I don't have a silver one here, but get your silver Sharpies ready. Actually, get the gold one because there's some gold piping on that hat there.
Yeah,
so
good
get a
call.
gold Sharpie ready, your Burgart's hat, and I'm sure the man will oblige and get you a signature for him. So that's a wrap for this weekend's program. And at the end of the show, to end the show, we're going to show the replays of both Tiz Lightning getting the win there in that $50,000 Thoroughbred Stakes win, and then we'll show Political Rivalry winning the Ed Burke Million Futurity. Following those replays, we'll show interviews with Lance Robinson, the partner of Keith Nelson, and part of that team winning the Ed Burke Million Futurity, and also Nick Hines talking about his win with Tiz Lightning. So we'll show those replays and those interviews, courtesy of Professor G sending us those video recaps, and hopefully he'll be back in action joining us on the show next week. All right, Michael, enjoy your weekend at the races. I'll be still firing. I'm still doing all the comments, all the prep work, all the replays for the Nightlines program. So the people that want to enjoy some of those comments that I do, you can still get them. I'll still be handling all those duties. And of course, all my selections will be in the program as well. But I'll be relaxing this weekend, Michael, thinking of you guys and sipping a margarita or two.
Excellent, mate. Well played. Good on you. Have fun.
You too. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you next week, Michael.
Hooroo. Tiz Lightning with fractional favoritism as he completes the line. They're ready. Racing. And Giant's Bright Eye bounds out of gate one. Tiz Lightning from the far outside begins fast. Cat Bernet is in the firing line with Darn Quick and Oil Can Knight, and El Diablo Rojo was coming through, one off the rail within 2 lengths of the lead. Giant's Bright Eye steadied at that point and lost a few lengths, passed by Helicopter Pilot. Windings a long way back, and a half dozen lengths Mongolian Moon. Tiz Lightning has crossed the face of the field and leads clearly around the turn. Gets away 2.5 lengths to Oil Can Knight. 2 more lengths, El Diablo Rojo inside. Darn Quick followed 5th by Windings. Splitting horses late. Baden the upper stretch, and it's Tiz Lightning hugging the rail, leading from Oil Can Knight and Winding. It's Tiz Lightning taken on by Oil Can Knight, Winding late. Tiz Lightning holds on, beats Oil Can Knight and Winding with El Diablo Rojo fourth.
How special is this win, Nick?
It's really it's difficult to put into words. You know, I really want to thank Los Alamitos. You know, this goes back pandemic year 2020, and Doc Allred, yourself, you know, you pushed really hard to keep racing going here in California, and that was about the time that I met Jesus Uranga. And you know, it's the old Pringle commercial. You know, I got the fever for the flavor of a Pringle. Well, horse racing is something, you know, it essentially kept me alive during the pandemic, literally and physically. And you know, my wife, you know, she had a tough year that year, the following year. And Los Alamitos has been near to my heart, you know, working TVG, now FanDuel TV. It's been a great blessing to be participatory, not only on broadcast, but owning and, you know, claiming and playing the game. And I've been very fortunate to have 2 exceptional horsemen, Jesus Uranga, Sergio Morfin, do an outstanding job. And we even brought the bug boy over here, Armando. He's done a tremendous job. And to get Diego up today, it was like an extra bonus. Ricardo had choices. He decided to stay with the Uranga 1. I respected it because, you know, they just claimed the horse for $20,000. So for this horse to come back in a week, it takes it to a whole nother special level now, to 1-3 races. And of course, the old Warrior, Winding. We won 8 races with him. And, you know, my heart was in place with him making up ground late, but to bookend a trifecta in a race like this, a $50,000 finale, you know, I'm thinking of my father. It's Father's Day, and you know, I'm just blessed to have all my friends and family here. This is truly a moment that I'll never forget and I'll forever cherish.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, brother.
The filly talked about something. Number 9, a late scratch after flipping behind the gate. Late move for Hot Prodigy, number 7, into 2-1. Ready. Racing. And Political Rivalry spearing out of gate number 8 as the early leader. From Rockin' With Energy under Hot Prodigy and Kevin's Wise Corona through along the inside. It's Political Rivalry, the leader. Political Rivalry from Rockin' With Energy, and Political Rivalry beats Rockin' With Energy. Kevin's Wise Corona on the inside, likely third from HRH Royal Cartel. And they were followed by Hot Prodigy out wider on the track. Political Rivalry for Keith Nellison wins the Ed Burke. An undefeated son of Keith's 2017 champion, KVN Corona. Eight first. Political Rivalry is the unofficial winner from 6, Rockin' With Energy, photo third.
Corona, what does this mean for this stallion?
It means a lot. I don't know if you can put it into words how much it means. But, you know, right before the sales, and, you know, we've always believed in him. We pretty much bred all our mares to him. We've supported him from day one when he went to stud. And, you know, we think he has such terrific looking babies that, you know, we need this to happen. It's a great deal.
Yeah.
Kevin and I and Keith were at the sale last year, and, you know, we kind of made a decision that Keith said, well, we need to support him beyond the breeding shed. So, you know, Keith went in there and started buying the better ones that we thought were the better horses to run to, you know, to help our own sales. So, I mean, it's a big deal. This is a big deal for Keith, really big deal.
And a grade 1 victory. I know there was a bonus associated with the horse, and he gets to win that bonus, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of how it
well,
goes?
We wanted any one of the 3 Cavians to win, but we really wanted this one to win, obviously. So it's a great deal. And Keith, you know, he wishes his here, but I don't know. Herd of Wild Horses couldn't keep him away from here, but his little daughter could. So, and he's where he needs to be.
Absolutely.
He's at the National Junior High Finals in Georgia, and she ran today, and he's a really good rodeo dad. He needs to be there.
Awesome. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Los Alamitos celebrates its 10th year of daytime thoroughbred racing this summer with an action-packed meet in beautiful Orange County. It's been an honor for us to have racing's biggest stars competing here over the past years. From the great 2-time Horse of the Year, California Chrome, to 7 other outstanding Eclipse Award winners, plus many other great stars. Our summer meet will include the Great Lady M Stakes on a special 4th of July program, plus the Los Alamitos Derby and our on-track handicapping contest on Saturday, July 8th. It's our 10th year of daytime thoroughbred racing at Los Alamitos Racecourse. Wiener Dog racing fans, the Wiener Schnitzel Wiener Nationals are back at Los Alamitos Racecourse Saturday night, July 15th. It'll be a showcase of the fastest dachshunds in the world. They love to run, and they love to make new friends and have fun. Who will be the fastest winner in the West? We can't wait to find out. Join us for this great night of family fun. Admission for kids 17 and under is free. The Wiener Schnitzel Wiener Nationals at Los Alamitos Racecourse, Saturday night, July 15th. Racing fans, the traditional $2 Pick 6 at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a Pick 6 carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a Pick 6 carryover or the $10,000 Pick 6 promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 Pick 6. A great bet, a great deal. Big-time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.